us have been feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of fear, a lot of despair, a lot of sense of panic. Let's just take a couple of minutes to breathe together, right? Because we need to be centered to act courageously, to act thoughtfully, to act strategically to make the changes that we need to make. So let's take a couple of minutes to breathe together.
I think they need to go to Judy or somebody. Judy's here.
National moment of silence right now.
Okay.
Show me what democracy looks like.
He's suggesting that we continue the moment of silence, that there's a bit of call for a national moment of silence now. So let's continue for a couple more minutes before we start with the program. Okay, so we've got what we think is an interesting, challenging program for folks. A number of speakers, some music. Local singer-songwriter Colleen Couture has just written several new songs which will be premiered today to speak directly to this moment. So somebody just handed me some information from a recent Indivisible call about key pieces of what we're calling for. So the first is, what kind of opposition are we looking for?
Blanket opposition.
Blanket opposition. Oppose all the things that they're trying to do, whether it's taking over Gaza. Is that outrageous?
Outrageous.
Yes.
Letting Elon Musk decide who gets paid?
No.
Firing federal workers randomly?
No.
Pardoning those who stormed the Capitol?
No. Hell no.
And that's just the beginning, right? RFK to teach us about health, to run the health department.
No.
Pete Hegseth to run the offense department, right? It's not a defense department, it's an offense department. Getting rid of DEI while appointing people who have no qualifications to hold their jobs, right? Is that outrageous?
Outrageous.
So, second key piece that we're calling on our electeds to do is to withhold unanimous consent, right?
Unanimous consent.
So that allows them to move through things quickly. A key part of what we're saying to people like Senators Schumer and Gillibrand and Representative Mannion is we need you to slow things down, to stop them from doing what they want to do. Because what they want to do is hurt all of us here. They want to curtail our future. They want to create an unlivable planet so a few of the richest people in the world can settle on Mars, right? Is that okay?
No.
They should settle on Mars. Sooner the better.
So, the third key piece is constant quorum calls. Constant quorum calls. Constant quorum calls.
Constant quorum calls.
That doesn't exactly roll off our tongues.
No.
But again, it's part of delaying things and making them do stuff, right? So they want to be able to pass things with shows of hands. We want them to go through a roll call every time they need to vote on everything.
That's right.
And insist that everybody put their name with what they're supporting, right?
Blanket opposition.
Roll call.
So is Hill Coppola here? Yeah. Sure. What kind of opposition? Blanket opposition. Withhold unanimous consent.
Withhold unanimous consent.
Constant quorum calls.
Constant quorum calls.
Great. Okay, so, Colleen, do you want to come in? All right, so before we do the land acknowledgement, since Hill's not here, Colleen Katoa is a award-winning singer-songwriter, lives down in Truxton, New York, bilingual, sings in Spanish, English. Please join me in welcoming Colleen.
So I just wrote these this morning. I'll see how they come out. This is I woke up thinking about it in the middle of the night. This is a kind of adapted from the Chicks song, March March. Mm-hmm. Ready for that? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So your part is March March.
March, march.
And then there's a chorus that you can sing along to. It goes March March to our own drum.
March, march to our own drum.
March March, we are many, we are one.
March, march, we are many, we are one.
March March, together we are strong.
March, march, together we are strong.
Take out the boys taking over Washington.
Take out the boys taking over Washington.
March March, oh no, to our own drum.
March, march to our own drum.
March March, we are many, we are one.
March, march, we are many, we are one.
March March, together we are strong.
March, march, together we are strong.
Take out the boys taking over Washington.
Take out the boys taking over Washington.
The old white boys in the White House lobby. Project 25 over our dead bodies. Russell vote is dangerous. Boot them out. And while you had to stop the billionaire government handouts.
March, march to our own drum. March, march.
We are many,
We are one. March, march.
together we are strong. Take out the boys taking
Over
over
Washington. March, march to our own drum. March, march. We are many, we are one. March, march. Together we are strong.
Take out the boys taking over
Over Washington.
Now you go, March March.
March, march.
You know truth from fiction.
March, march.
Gonna make them listen.
March, march.
United in our conviction.
March, march.
Racist zealous in the White House is our mission. Hey, Musk, who gave you our permission?
March, march to our own drum. March, march. We are one. March, march. Together we are strong.
Take out the
Boys taking over Washington. March, march.
together we are strong.
March, march. We are many, we are
Strong.
March, march.
Together
We are strong. March, march. Together we are strong. March, march.
Gonna stop the oil ring.
March, march.
No drilling in the heartland.
March, march.
Climate degradation.
March, march.
We're a peaceful, loving nation.
March,
We're
march.
gonna lead with love.
March,
We
march.
got fire in the blood.
March, march.
Until the tyrants are banned.
March, march.
Until we get what we demand.
March, march.
To our own
Drum. March, march. We are many, we are one. March, march.
Here together we are strong. Take out the
Boys taking over Washington.
Take out
The boys taking over Washington. Take out the boys taking over Washington.
the boys taking over
Over Washington.
until the work is done. We
March, march.
march.
But it's easy to get depressed by a lot of what's going on, so we need to have some fun together too, to celebrate, to tap into the joy of music and other culture as part of our resistance. So I'm going to ask Gillibrand Capola to come up and provide an acknowledgement that we gather on the land of the Onondaga Nation here as part of our respect for all peoples. So, Hillary.
Thank you, Andy. I'm sure I know a lot of you people here. I was asked to give a land acknowledgement, which is a traditional way that Noon now starts gathering. I'm a member of the Neighbors of the Onondaga Nation, who's been active for decades. And we support the sovereignty of the oldest known democracy in the world, which is the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, including the Onondaga Nation. And we thank them for their advice. We thank them for their brotherhood. And we are on their land right now. They're the fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. We're very close to Onondaga Lake. That is the place where the world's oldest democracy was formed, when the peacemaker came across the lake and united the warring nations into the Confederacy. Our founding fathers of our democracy learned from them. We also have to acknowledge that the Onondaga's land and the land of other Haudenosaunee peoples was violently taken by our government, by our leaders, by our ancestors. We do live on stolen land. We are all treaty people, though. Even with these broken promises, we have treaties with the Onondaga Nation, with other indigenous nations, that we must uphold and honor, even if our leaders and shadow leaders won't. We have to remember that Onondaga Lake is still polluted. The Onondaga Nation has never given up their caretaking responsibility for the lands and waters, and they are fighting to protect Onondaga Lake as we speak. The Onondaga Nation also wants us to remember that climate collapse is occurring. There are people who want to accelerate that. We're going to resist them. We're going to resist together for democracy and for justice, no matter whose land we are on as Americans. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. So, there's people here from a variety of places, so let's see where folks are from. Are there folks here from Oneida County? How about Cayuga County? From up north, Potsdam area? What county are you all? St. Lawrence. Okay. Cortland County. How about Onondaga County? Right? Funny about that. Here we are. Madison County. Anyone else want to leave it out? That's been funny. Here we are in Onondaga County on Onondaga land. Isn't that an interesting coincidence? So our next speaker is David Reason, who's a professor at the law school at Syracuse University. David's work focuses on constitutional law, economics, and environmental law. He's active with the CNY Solidarity Coalition and has written 4 books. Most recently, and this is kind of an important one, The Specter of Dictatorship, Judicial Enabling of Presidential Power. David Reason.
Oh, oh. No. No. No.
Hit the up button.
How's that, better?
Yeah.
All right. We just saw a Black Hawk helicopter collide with an airplane, killing everybody on board. That's unusual. The reason that's so unusual, it hasn't happened in a very long time, is that we have civil servants working to prevent that. We have air traffic controllers, not enough of them, but we have air traffic controllers trying to sort this out. We have a Federal Aviation Administration with experts who can't be fired for political reasons, who are passing rules to try to keep the airlines safe. And we have a Transportation Safety Board, which is now investigating what the heck causes it need to be better. That's not the only thing. We're sort of invisibly protected by civil servants. You go to the grocery store, chances are pretty good you can find food.
Louder. Louder. Can't hear you. Louder.
That's because we have experts
There.
at the Food and Drug Administration who pass laws and sometimes enforce them properly that limit that kind of thing. And when they fail, when we don't let them do their jobs, the consequences are disastrous. Take a look at LA. a lot of it burned down because we haven't let EPA consistently do its job in enforcing the Clean Air Act to combat the climate crisis. Now, what Trump is doing when he's firing all these civil servants is he's trying to destroy modern constitutional government. Because what civil servants do is, first of all, they don't feel, their primary loyalty is to the law. They identify themselves with the statutory purposes that we had a community consensus on at one point, such that we set up laws agreed to by the Congress and the President for what people really need. And it's hard to get that consensus. It comes about when there's a real need, and we try to keep it in place until we agree to amend it. Then, when they exercise discretion, they use expert information and rationality to decide how to do that. And finally, they treat all citizens equally. So the nice thing about rules is it may be irksome to business, but instead of, well, you get to operate if you have good ties to the ruler, and you don't, if you don't have good ties to the rulers. We have rules. You obey those rules, and things are fine, and you're treated equally in the same thing with citizens as well, regardless of political affiliation, race, or gender, anything like that. So, now, the Trump is not only trying to fire the civil servants, which is a big disaster, because do we want competent government?
Yes.
Do we want rational government?
Yes.
Do we want fair and equitable government?
Yes.
Well, to have those things, you can't go around getting rid of your civil servants. Now, Trump is also trying to destroy independent agencies. Every working democracy has bastions of independence. In particular, we do not, in all functioning democracies I know of, have independent electoral commissions or bipartisan commissions. We don't let one partisan head of state control those things. And that's true of our Federal Election Commission. Media regulators in every functioning democracy that I know of, the media regulators are independent or bipartisan because we don't want that partisan control of media. And then prosecution services, either by law or by custom, around the world are independent. We don't let heads of state decide who to prosecute and who not to prosecute. Instead, we let prosecution services do that kind of thing based on evidence and seriousness of offenses. So we have seen this before when we destroy independent agencies. This is what autocrats do. This is what Hitler did. This is what Viktor Orban, idol of President Trump, has done. He fired lots of civil servants, got rid of the independent agencies. We saw the same thing in Turkey, which transformed from a pretty decent democracy to the leading jailer of journalists in the world. And how does this happen? When they get rid of these independent agencies and you subject them to, they're supposed to follow what the ruler says, they tilt the electoral playing field in their favor with the electoral rules. They shut down opposition media and supported media, and they prosecute their opponents and protect their corrupt friends. That's where we're headed if this stuff isn't stopped. Now, what Trump is going to do is when he fires these people, they're going to sue him, and he's going to go to the Supreme Court because they're violating the law. The law says you can't fire these people unless they didn't do their jobs properly. Trump has never said they're not doing their jobs properly. He's saying, no, they're all liberals, you've got to get rid of them. Of course, they're not. They're bipartisan. But he's saying, so he's going to violate the law, and they're saying, you're violate the law, and then he's going to the Supreme Court, and there's going to say the Supreme Court, well, it says the president has executive power. That means he has to be like a CEO in a badly run corporation who just fires everybody he disagrees with. And that's not what the Constitution means, but the court seems to believe that it does. And so we've got a fight on our hands, and we need Congress to step up, and we need everybody to step up. We need to say to our Republican opponents, our Republican friends, you know, you may think you're getting power by supporting Trump. You're not. Look at what's happened to his Republican opponents who defected. there's going to come a day when you're not like what he's doing, and you won't have the means to stop him if this goes on. So glad that everybody's here today. We need to resist this. We need our elected officials to step up and figure out how to make this clear to the American people.
Thank you, David. When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When people's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When women's rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Are we going to wait for politicians?
No.
Are we going to wait for politicians?
No.
Absolutely not. So our next speaker is Lynn McHugh. Lynn is a therapist, a mother, and a city council candidate in the city of Oneida. In a ward that has elected only 2 Democratic candidates in recent memory, Lynn has built a strong coalition across party lines by developing strong relationships and fostering unity by speaking to shared values and goals. She is optimistic about moving forward. Lynn.
Good afternoon, Indivisible. This is amazing, this turnout. This is where the spirit is. This is where movement happens. This is where change grows. I'm really happy to be here today. My name is Lynn McHugh. I am a Common Council candidate in Oneida, New York. Thank you. It's a bit of an uphill battle. I live in a pretty red spot, but I'm going to persist. My values depend on it. Fighting for a world for my daughter lies in here. I pulled her out of middle school to come support today. So our forefathers fought to ensure that we would not be ruled by a king, but here we are. Our mothers and grandmothers fought to ensure that women would be protected as equal citizens, but here we are. We are on the cusp of watching our democracy dissolve into oligarchy. But here we are. Here we are. We stand together, asking no, demanding that our leaders embrace their responsibility to stand against these forces which aim to take control, making our democracy unrecognizable. How do I teach my daughter self-worth when those elected to protect her freedom are silent in the face of these predators? How do I help her stand up for herself in the face of cruelty and injustice when the biggest offenders face no accountability or consequence? Those who authored Project 2025 have no business near any place of policy making, let alone being allowed to oversee federal funding. I don't know how to explain this to her. I want senators to look my daughter in the eye and tell her why they stood silently as power-seeking billionaires took over the basic functions of our government.
Yes.
As our justice system and rule of law became twisted and distorted to bend to narcissistic whims.
That's right.
I want senators to explain to her why it's okay to hand unchecked power to people who want to take her rights away.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
We don't all live in a blue place. I'm a candidate in a red place. I know that to make change, we have to make friends with people who disagree with us. If we can't put partisanship aside and stand together with our neighbors now under the shared threat of democratic demise, when?
Yeah.
The reality is our Republican neighbors, family members and friends have been duped into thinking that any of these people give a rat's ass about their success or well-being. The only way to to right this ship is to save them from themselves and to remind them over and over again that Democrat is not a dirty word.
Really?
We have to confront political xenophobia where it lives, in dark corners of ignorance and fear. We cannot sit by passively, hoping for our leaders to do the right thing. Thursday, guys, Thursday's the day we watch and we listen closely to see if those we entrusted to protect our democracy are up to the task of fighting for me, for you, for my daughter, who deserves to live in a world that makes just a little bit of sense.
Yes.
We call on our leaders, both Democrat and Republican, to show up for the American people.
Yeah. Right. Show up. Show up. Show up. Show up. Show up. Show up. Show up.
We trust them. We trusted them with our votes and our support and our hard-earned campaign donation money. We trust them to be custodians of our precious democracy. Don't let wolves into our hen house.
What
Yeah.
kind of opposition? Blanket opposition.
Thank
Lynn McHugh from Onondaga.
Yeah.
Do we want people like that representing us?
Yeah.
How about some of these folks up here in this building? Do we want them?
Yes. Stop voting with
Do we need them to
Republicans.
stand up a little bit?
Yeah.
Stop voting with Republicans.
Yeah.
We need them to represent our values.
Yeah.
We damn sure do. So our next speaker is Decca Dansel, who is the Assistant Organizing Director with the New York Civil Liberties Union, working with organizers across New York State. Decca is also the longtime president of the Urban Jobs Task Force, a group that has made a huge difference in the plans to tear down 81 and to be sure that the jobs that are created help people in this community, right?
Yeah.
We have a terrible problem with poverty here in central New York, and particularly for people of color. So we all need to deal with this broad range of issues. So please join me in welcoming Decca Dansel.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Louder.
Oh, can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read off my paper because otherwise I'm so mad that I would go on a tangent. My name is Decca Dansel. I'm here today representing the New York Civil Liberties Union. We're a civil rights nonprofit dedicated to expanding and protecting all of our constitutional rights. We defend democracy. And now, more than ever, our rights and our democracy are under attack. Make no mistake, white supremacy won this election.
Yeah.
Argue with your mother. I'll say it again. Make no mistakes. White supremacy won this election, but we all gonna lose if we don't come together and do something about what's happening in the White House, and we do it fast.
Yeah.
Outside of the power that we hold, when we collectively organize, our greatest defense against this unprecedented attempt to illegally hijack our government is through our lawmakers. So I'm here today with a message for them. And to be clear, I'm not just talking to the federal delegation. I know we're outside of the federal building. Of course I'm talking to our congressmen. Of course I'm talking to our federal senators. But I'm also talking to our state assembly and senate.
Yeah.
I'm also talking to our local city and county government.
Yeah. That's right.
My message to them is simple. You can't hide, and you will be held accountable for what you don't do in this moment. We reject the lie that your hands are tied.
Absolutely.
We condemn the idea that waiting until there are quote-unquote real impacts, aka when it's too late,
Right.
is when you
Exactly.
act on behalf of our best interests.
Not okay.
And
Not
we
okay.
demand you to right now stand up and fight back against a machine that seeks to roll over the American people in service of individuals who are already rich, powerful, and privileged beyond measure. Beyond any of our imagination.
Stand up!
That's right. We cannot afford and we will not accept business as usual.
That's right.
I don't care if you gotta borrow a backbone. I really don't.
Stand up!
Stand up!
Stand up for indigenous people.
Stand up!
Stand up!
For black people.
Stand up!
For brown people.
Stand up!
For immigrants.
Stand up!
For LGBTQ plus folks.
Stand up!
For disabled folks.
Stand up!
Stand up for workers.
Stand up!
Stand up for the American people.
Stand up!
Point blank period. Especially your constituents. Us right here. So remember this. Without us, there is no y'all. You've been warned. Choose wisely or fill our response in our vote and in our protest.
That's right.
As for the NYCLU, we're going to use every tool at our disposal to resist you at every turn.
Yeah.
We're going to fight you in the courts. We're going to fight you at the legislature. And we're going to fight you by bringing droves of people out in the street. If you want. And as for us, the people of Central New York, understand that we won't take this land down. They want us to be exhausted. They want us to feel overwhelmed, and they want us to be stuck. Well, guess what? We will not give them what they want.
No way!
Repeat after me. Power to the people.
Power to the people!
Power to the people.
Power to the people!
Power to the people.
Power to the people!
Thank you.
Some New York Civil Liberties Union. Thank you. You want a little more singing here?
Yeah.
Okay, Colleen, we need you. Colleen.
All right, okay. All right, here's another one. Some of you of a certain age might remember this, but I think it's been sampled a bunch of times too. So your part goes, na 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 na,
Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
Okay, you can sing just that part. You can sing this too. We do the na-nas and we go, we are wonderful.
We are wonderful.
Powerful.
We are powerful.
Together we rise. We are wonderful.
We are wonderful. We are powerful.
Together.
Together we rise. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
We are wonderful. Power.
We are powerful.
Together.
Together we rise.
They want to divide us, to shock and silence us. But here we are standing strong today, united against tyranny, and so doggone willing. So kiss them. I wouldn't wanna kiss them, metaphorically kiss them. Goodbye.
Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. We are wonderful. We are powerful. Together we rise.
They want us to fear them, vindictive villains. All their fascist cronies wanna make us right. They might threaten, but people are love. Our love is so much stronger, so kiss them. I wouldn't wanna kiss them, metaphorically kiss them. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Hey, hey.
na 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 na. Dictators, goodbye. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, police, goodbye. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye.
Wonderful.
We are wonderful. We are powerful. Together we rise.
Thank you, Colleen. Imagine if you had a week to write this stuff. So our next speaker is Tom Keck, who is a key organizer with Indivisible Onondaga County and the CNY Solidarity Coalition. During the day, he's the Michael Sawyer Chair of Constitutional Law and Politics and Professor of Political Science at Syracuse University. Tom is the author of Judicial Politics in Polarized Times and the Most Activist Supreme Court in History. Tom Keck.
Hey, what's up, Syracuse? Not just Syracuse, we got people from all over, right? Where's my friends from Cayuga County? All right, good to see you guys again. Where's my friends from Mohawk Valley? All right, who else we got? Where else you coming from? Madison County. All right. Oswego. Who's from Oswego? Amazing, amazing, amazing.
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence, amazing. So glad to see everybody out here today. So, you know, I've got like some 2017 vibes. Like, I feel like, if you were here with me right in this very spot at some rallies in 2017, let me hear you. All right. We've been out here for a long time. I remember we were out here protesting Jeff Sessions' nomination as Attorney General. I'm a little bit worried that Pam Bondi is going to make us miss Jeff Sessions. There you go. So, there's that. So as Andy said, I got like two hats on that you sometimes hear me talking in sort of two different registers, right? So I'm a member of Indivisible Onondaga County and CNY Solidarity Coalition. So let me talk to you for like a minute with my organizing hat on. Then I'm also a political science professor up on the Hill. So then let me talk for you for one more minute with my political science hat on. I'm always supposed to say I'm speaking just for myself. I'm not speaking for SU, obviously. All right, so let me hear you if this is your first time out here at the Federal Building in Syracuse. Who's new? All right, you guys are my favorite. I love the new people. All right, so this is especially for the new people, but everybody do this. Pull out your phones for me. I know it's cold. You might got to take off a mitten or something, but pull out your phones for me. Go to Contacts. Create new contact. First name, Chuck. Last name, Schumer. If he's already in there, awesome. Put him in there again.
Every day.
All right. Senator Schumer's Syracuse office number is 315-423-5471. Call that office every day. Be nice to the people on the phone. It is not their fault what's going on. Oh yeah, sorry, I went too fast. 315-423-5471. Senator Schumer's staff are not the enemy. Be nice to them. Their job is just answer the phone. Some of them are college students who, like, they might be my student down there on an internship or whatever. Be nice to them, but be firm and make sure that they register your concern. We want Senator Schumer, to hear from his constituents all around the state. Those of us who voted for him, those of us who helped him get elected, those of us who expect him to represent our interests. He has got to be doing everything possible within his power to slow down and stop the ongoing illegal power grab.
Blanket opposition.
Gillibrand and Mannion too. I got their phone numbers too if you need them. Right? You can look them up. Call all of them. Right? Every day until they start doing something effective. Right? All right.
Also, no budget until Ukraine gets the armament spent.
Yeah, that too. So, like, look, they're like, we had this 8 years ago, right? Although, of course, this time, we had this 8 years ago. Trump's MO is to do 1 million terrible things in a row in rapid fire succession, which obviously makes it hard for people to even, like, wrap their minds around it enough to know, like, what the heck is going on and what can we possibly do to stop it. You don't got to do everything. You don't got to focus on every issue, right? Collectively, we got to do everything, and collectively, we got to focus on every issue, but you don't have to do that. Each one of you here in the crowd, pick something to focus on. Are you worried about Ukraine? Are you worried about reproductive rights? Are you worried about healthcare access? Are you worried about trans rights, right? Are you worried?
Stop voting with Republicans.
Right.
That's
Pick a
what
lane,
I'm worried
focus
about.
on it, follow everything as much as you can, but like we can all
Republicans.
do it together, right? We don't. Each of us doesn't have to carry everything, right? Don't burn yourself out. Right? It's going to be a long fight.
Yep.
When we all come together like this, we can all talk about our specific issues, but pick the campaign or the issues that you want to focus on. Follow that news as best you can. Find some trustworthy news sources. Share the information with your friends and family. And show up to these protests and call your representatives. That's the homework. All right, one last quick word with my political science hat on. So, so like political scientists, like one of the things we like to do is have like endless arguments about the precise and proper meaning of a specific important concept, right? So, for example, you might take the concept of a coup d'etat, right? Which some of you might be familiar, some of you, those of us of a certain age, might be familiar with the sort of old-fashioned model of a coup where the tanks roll into a national capital. That still sometimes happens, right? The tanks roll into a national capital and the military illegally seizes control of an elected civilian government, right? So that's what we might have in mind when we hear the word coup, but that's not what happened 4 years ago on January 6th, 2021. There were no tanks, right? There was no military effort to seize control of the government, though we didn't find out later that Trump tried to enlist the military in the effort, right? We saw something different, right? We found out later that Trump, for weeks after he lost the election, had been working with right-wing lawyers to concoct a scheme whereby red states would elect fraudulent states of electors and send them to Congress to replace their real electors. And then when that didn't seem like it was working, he tried to pressure Vice President Pence to just change the vote or refuse to count some of the votes. And when that didn't seem like it was working, he tried to incite a violent mob of armed, angry people to show up and invade the U.S. Congress. That was an attempted coup. There were no tanks in the streets, but it was an attempted illegal seizure of power by folks who had no lawful entitlement to that power, right? Now we are seeing another version of it. I did not vote for Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You did not vote for Elon Musk.
Elon belongs in jail.
Nobody voted for Elon Musk.
Elon belongs in jail.
And he is illegally attempting to seize control of the U.S. federal government. He is unilaterally, him and his like team of like 20-year-old weird dudes, like are like by themselves occupying federal buildings, locking out the staff that work there, locking out members of the U.S. Congress, bringing in cots, staying there overnight, and in the middle of the night, seizing control of the IT systems in order to unilaterally cut off funding and like abolish existing federal programs that were created by Congress that are in federal law.
Yeah.
He does not have the authority to do that.
No. We arresting them.
And we are not going to stand for it. And we need our senators and representatives in Congress to be not standing for it with us.
That's right.
Thank you.
Stop the hate, stop the fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Stop the hate, stop the fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Stop the hate, stop the fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Refugees, stop the hate.
Hate, stop the fear. Refugees are welcome here. Stop the hate, stop the fear. Refugees are welcome here.
Stop the hate. Stop
the fear. Trans people are welcome here. Stop the hate. Stop the fear. Trans people are welcome here.
Who's welcome here?
Everyone.
Everybody, that's right. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to divide us so we can't unite to stop them from their evil plans. Are we going to let them do that?
No.
No way, we're not going to let them do that. So our next speaker is a local elected official. Maurice Brown represents District 15 in the Onondaga County Legislature. He's a U.S. Army veteran and also an active community organizer in addition to his legislative work and before his legislative work. He works at Onondaga Community College. On LinkedIn, Mo describes himself as an African without memories and an American without the privileges. Mo Brown.
Maurice!
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna yell. We're gonna stand up. We're gonna fight.
Stand up, fight.
We're gonna stand up and fight. Let me hear y'all say stand up.
Stand up.
Let me hear y'all say stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up. We have to fight. We have to say things into the atmosphere that I never thought I was going to have to say in my lifetime. But we have to say this. In 2015, I didn't know I was going to have to say Black Lives Matter. But I had to say Black Lives Matter because we didn't know. In 2020, I had to say, right now, we have to say that concentration camps are bad. Concentration camps are bad. We should not be turning military facilities into homes for our neighbors. We need to love each other. No one is illegal on stolen land.
That's right.
No one is illegal on stolen land. Abolish ICE. We do not need them in our communities, breaking up our families. We shouldn't have to say this. We shouldn't have to say that you should love your neighbor, but we do. What we do. And we need to fight. And we need to make sure all of our electeds know that. As mentioned, my name is Maurice Brown. I'm the county legislator for the 15th district here. So I represent the Westcott neighborhood. I represent the Valley. And because of gerrymandering, I also represent the near west side, the south side. For no reason. But the point that I'm making about my being elected is I'm in a safe blue district. And because I'm in a safe blue district, I'm allowed to say what I believe in. However, I think all of our elected officials should be saying what they believe in. Trans rights are human rights. We need to cancel student debt. We need to cancel student debt. We need to stand up and fight back against the forces in our community that are attempting to divide us. Tom just came up. I always like picking on Tom. Tom was my professor at Syracuse University. Tom was literally my con law professor, and in his course, I learned about justice. I learned about Thurgood Marshall. I learned about the fight that they had ending segregation in the South. I learned about Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges was one of the first. She was a girl, then now she's a woman. She was one of the first girls to integrate into schools when she was 10 years old. She was called Unspeakable Things. Ruby Bridges has a Twitter account. Ruby Bridges is not ancient history.
Right.
We need to stand up and fight back. We're going the wrong direction. We're going the wrong direction. We need to do better. So I'm asking you all to reach out to your federal officials, reach out to Mannion, I'll call him by name, Mannion, Schumer, Gillibrand, reach out to your state elected officials. But my real ask to you is disrupt everything. This cannot be business as usual.
That's exactly right.
No. I am asking you to interrupt your Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
I am asking you to interrupt Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I am asking you to interrupt President's Week.
Yes.
I'm asking you that if you think what's going on is unjust, if you think what's going on needs to stop, there will be no confirmations, there will be no milk, no cookies, no tea, nothing. We cannot keep pretending like this is normal. This is not normal. We should not be hating each other in this time right now. We need to be loving each other. This is an unprecedented time we are in. And history's gonna look back at what you did right now. And when you look back, you want to be able to say with your whole heart, with your whole chest, that I tried, that I fought, that I stood up. We need people to stand up. We need people to stand up.
Stand up!
We need people to stand up.
Stand up!
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When trans lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When ability rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back!
Thank you.
Woo!
Maurice Brown, right? We'd like to see him. We're delighted he's in the county legislature, right? Where else? Would we like to see him in the county legislator's office? President? We got some amazing people, rising leaders, right? So we need to support them. And we need to create systems that make it possible for people like that, grassroots people who don't have billions of dollars, to be able to run for office and to compete and to win, right?
Yeah. Right.
So one of our friends from St. Lawrence County wants to make a really quick call for a very specific action related to the open seat that's going to be happening up there, right? They're representing a pretty reprehensible woman named Elise Stefanik. She's been nominated to represent us in the United Nations. Can you believe that? Do we want the world to think that she represents us?
What are you going to do?
Right? She's probably fully supportive of Trump's outrageous call for us to take ownership of Gaza. And maybe she supports his call to buy Greenland.
Yeah, right.
To take over the Panama Canal. To force our wonderful neighbors to the north to become the 51st state. Can you
Alicia's
right,
a
so we gotta
bootlicker.
stop that crap. So Ginger's gonna come and ask for a quick thing that you can do to help support them to flip that seat.
Thank you, everybody. I'm the vice chair of the St. Lawrence County Democratic Committee, and yesterday we announced our candidate, our presumptive nominee, because Stefanik hasn't resigned yet. We did it early because of a certain situation. Blake Indivisible is the nominee.
Oh, yes.
He's excellent. He's a farmer in a very rural area. He's progressive. He's great. He's energized. He's raised over $500,000. And he's a strong candidate. And Kathy Hochul and Hakeem Jeffries have a plan that could probably really damage Blake. Right. And the plan is this. They are, right now, the special election should be happening in April or May. It depends on when it's announced. Kathy Hochul and Jeffries have hatched this plan to delay it, to keep the House having one less seat for the Republicans. And they're talking about possibly delaying it until November. If they do that, Blake will be labeled with corruption, and it will become what the campaign is about. I'm asking you, please. You might try calling Kathy Hochul's office. It's kind of hard to get through there. Yep. I had to email, but please either call or email her and tell her not to change the schedule for the special election. We don't need corruption laid on us. Tell me something. Does this sound like something the Democrats would do or the Republicans? Yeah. Thank you. Please do it. Thank you.
So we're nearing the end of our program, and speakers have given us a lot of ideas about what we should be doing, a lot of instructions about what we can do that's productive, right? So I want you to to think about what it is that you're going to take away here, right? It's great to be together. It's great to chant. It's great to recognize that there are thousands of us here in central New York, hundreds of thousands, millions across the country. But unless we organize effectively, we're not going to turn this around. Unless we resist effectively, we're not going to turn this around. So the key to doing that is to work together, right? There's lots of organizations. There's 4, 5, 6 Indivisible chapters that work together to bring this together. So we want you to connect with those groups if you aren't already part of them. There's things we can do as individuals, right? We need to support the people in our immediate lives. We need to take care of ourselves, as Tom said, because this is a long haul. This is not a sprint. We need to intervene in situations where we hear people talking about marginalized folks in ways that stigmatize or put them down or deny their rights. We need to stand up in those individual ways, but ultimately it's about our collective power. It's about people power that's going to turn things around. So one of the things you can do is the CNY Solidarity Coalition has a wonderful newsletter that goes out every Tuesday morning with all kinds of information about activities in the community, places and sources of information, etc. And Peter McCarthy over here has some cards, so come and get one from him if you'd like to sign up for that, or just go online and look for CNY Solidarity Coalition and you can sign up there for their newsletter. Connect again with the other groups that are part of this. We also need to support one another, right? This is a hard time, and it's harder for some of us than others, right? Those of us with darker skin, those of us who are undocumented, those of us who are trans are particularly feeling the heat right now. So we need to support one another and love one another, as so many people have said today. Protests like this are really important. It's a way to show the general public that there are many, many people who are really upset about what's going on, who understand that our democracy is under threat, and that we're going to stand up and keep that theft from happening, right? It's a way for us to feel solidarity with one another. But that's only one small piece of the work that we do. The work that happens in meetings, with phone calls, with organizing, with coming up with campaigns, all of that's part of it too. And a lot of that's not quite as much fun as being in a big crowd together, but we need to do it anyway. So I'm going to ask Colleen to send us off with another song, and please go in peace, go with justice in our hearts, and keep this struggle going, and look for the next time to come together and act for justice.
Thanks, Andy. And I was going to do a third song I wrote, but I think I'd rather do a sing-along with you. It's from the African-American tradition, and it goes like this. So it's a little bit of zipper, and I love the African-American tradition of song is just so incredible and so vital, and so this is one of the songs. It's called Hold On, right? So it goes, hold on just a little while longer, hold on just a little while longer, hold on just a little while longer, everything gonna be alright. Hold on, just a little while longer, hold on, just a little while longer, hold on, just a little while longer, everything's gonna be alright. Work on just a little while longer, work on just a little while longer, work on just a little while longer, everything's gonna be alright. Fight on just a little while longer, fight on
is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When trans people are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black folks are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
We look forward to standing up, fighting back, and organizing with you again and again until we turn this thing around.